All right, everybody. So we've created a project within Dovetail. I've imported each of the 5 interview transcripts that I've used for the previous ChatGPT exercise on assessing user interviews for insights. Now I'm going to select chat with data in my project. So I'm going to provide the same prompt that I did for ChatGPT in terms of assessing the interviews based on the criteria that I provided previously. So I'm going to select chat with data in my project. There's some example prompts. I'm exploring this. I'm seeing everything here for the first time. So we're just kind of exploring it live. So as expected, there's a little chat, a little agent window. What can I help with? A couple of suggested prompts and a text field. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste the same prompt that I provided to ChatGPT. Okay, so we're going to copy the prompts. Going to come back to the Dovetail window, paste that prompt right here. So just as a summary of what the prompt is, a reminder, it's the same one that we used for the ChatGPT analysis. As I understand it, this AI is going to search, research, use whatever data has been uploaded as part of this project to perform the tasks identified with the prompts. The prompt also requests that a summary be created, which includes what features the ideal product would incorporate and how it would work. All right, so let's see what happens. Again, I'm doing this all for the first time. This is the first time I've ever opened Dovetail, seen Dovetail. This is the first account I've created, so we're experiencing it together. All right, so we've got the prompts. All right, so let's check out our response here. I'm looking for a way to expand this. Okay, it doesn't look like we can expand it, that's fine. So let's see the response. 5 digital nomads reveal. I like that it starts with a summary or overview. 5 digital nomads reveal consistent pain points around fragmented information, time-intensive research, and trust issues. It's fragmented information, time-intensive research, and trust issues when planning relocations. So that sounds, based on memory, that sounds fairly consistent with what we found with ChatGPT. Some other items that ChatGPT highlighted are personalization. So they want to be able to customize the tool for their specific needs, as well as identification of scams, as well as overview of safety level of their potential new location. So safety, there's trust issues I mentioned here, but that's more closely related to trust of information that's being provided and not safety of a particular location. Let's continue. So common themes across interviews. Information fragmentation, research overload. Okay, so you mentioned 20 tabs. I think this is, it's actually citing or it looks like it's citing, oh, that's cool. So when it cites a quote or an insight, it actually seems like it's highlighting information. I don't know why they're not all highlighted, but at least the first 2, they're highlighting. I opened 20 tabs, know my list, da-da-da. Second one, there's no one place to find what you need. So that's it's not really directly related, but adjacently. Each nomad creates their own organization system. Okay, so what's really cool about this analysis is that it's citing the sort of resource in your project. Now, the challenge here is that I've copied and pasted everything into one document. So if I had each of the 5 interviews in separate documents, it would have different citations based on which interview is referencing. So time investment, trust in data, quality issues, price, willingness. So it does talk about the willingness of people to, it does talk about what people are willing to pay for a particular, for this type of platform. Key differentiating factors, experience level. So it talks about the range in persona or demographics between people like Anna, who are frequent movers or seasoned nomads, and first-time nomads like Liam. Travel context, some are traveling with families, some are traveling solo. Okay, so a lot of similarities here. You know, it'd be interesting if we used ChatGPT or maybe a neutral third party to assess the different assessments from ChatGPT as well as Dovetail. So first, let's do this. Let's create separate documents for each interview. All right, so we have 5 interviews. Now, to avoid redundancy, I'm going to go ahead and delete the interview transcripts file, which contains all 5 interviews. Now that we have each interview individually contained. Okay, now that we have 5 separate interviews, we can get a better idea of which interview is being sourced, right? Instead of just having the number 1, which is referring to only one sourced resource, we can have 1 through 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. I'm going to copy the prompt again that I originally used with ChatGPT, and it's the same prompts that we just used. And let's see what happens. So because AI is non-deterministic, we may not get exactly the same feedback and results that we got initially, but it should be similar. The only differences would be that it would be presented maybe in a different formats. All right. Starting off with decision factors, so core requirements. So core requirements would be alignment across all 5 nomads interviewed, cost of living, weather, community. You know what I'm not seeing any sources cited. Which is a little disappointing because I wonder if I do the same thing for David's workspace. All right, so I was thinking a little bit more. Talking about 5 key themes. All right, so previously I was chatting with data in my project. I changed that to chat with data in my workspace, and that now include highlights referring to the source of particular quotes. You know what's interesting? The first sentence under common decision factors is cost of living, weather, and community are the big ones. When I read that, I assume that most, if not all, of the interviewees would reference that. I click the source, and it's only highlighting one interview. So I'm losing a little bit of trust there. Also says internet connectivity, visa length are universally critical factors. Again, only one interview being referenced. So that's a little suspicious to me. Now under universal pain points, we have a couple references, different site, different formats. Open 20 tabs. But that's only 2. It's only referencing 2 interviews out of 5. So, overall, I like the summary. I wish I could open up the summary, make it full screen or make it larger so I could read it easier. That's not a huge deal. I really, really like the footnotes that you can click and reference sources, but I am not a big fan of the process, the thinking here. And that's because the summary indicates that certain items are common across all interviewees, but the reference the items reference don't really align with that.